Welcome. This lesson is all about how to tune your guitar. Something that we need to get really used to from day one so that we don't have to think about it at all. Every time you pick up your guitar, you'll get yourself in tune and then you'll just continue on with whatever you're working on without having to worry about hearing something that sounds a little bit wrong as you're playing it and thinking, am I playing something wrong? When in fact, it may just be that your guitar was out of tune. We're going to eliminate any of that and just get you set. The first thing we must learn is what the string note names are. Each of your 6 strings has a letter attached to it, which is what we need to reach or achieve on your tuner. 2 are the same as each other. We've got here and here. So at either end, those 2 are the same. They are both the note E. We call one of them the low E and one of them the high E. I'd like you to have a guess at which one's the low E and which one's the high E. The first one or the second one? Which one is the low E? If you answered the first one, being the low E, you are correct. Although this one is the lowest down, that's not what we mean by low E. Why? Because we think in pitch now, because you are a musician. Musicians think in pitch. The pitch of this E was lower than the pitch of that E. So that's 2 covered already. We have 2 E's. Now I'm going to go through all 6 of them in order using Ate, Dynamite, Good, by Eddie. May seem a bit dark, a little bit blunt, but it's always the way that I remembered it, and I hope that it helps you. Eddie, 8, Dynamite, Good, by Eddie. Translates to E, A, D, G, B, E. Now, I'd like you to try to remember all of them. Sometimes I think from day one, even if you just remembered that the low E and the high E exist and that they are either side, that's enough. And that when you are tuning, at least you have E, A, D, G, B, E written down somewhere. So for you to memorize the 2 E's is great, and then for you to have written down Eddie 8 Dynamite Good by Eddie for when you are tuning, that is also fine. The reason I say that is because there are so many things to remember to begin with, and this is not always the easiest to remember. Now, there are 2 ways that I'm going to show you how to tune. The paid way, using a clip-on tuner, or the free way, using an app. I'm going to show you how to use either of those because I actually use both. I use a clip-on tuner most of the time, but then if I'm without it, if I'm in the house or if I'm out somewhere, then I can always revert to the app version. The first way is to use a clip-on tuner, like one of these. They come in different shapes and sizes. Some are circular. Try not to sit on them as I do because they do break. But this is, of course, the paid option. You can buy them from pretty much anywhere without me naming any specific stores, and it shouldn't cost you in pounds more than 10 or 15 pounds. Let's look at how you would use one. So my guitar is out of tune because I have made sure that it's out of tune for this example. Now, we already know that the string names are E, A, D, G, B, E. But which string is connected to which tuning peg or tuning key? Well, you go in a circle. So if I run my finger down the neck, the first one I come to is the low E string. The second one is the A string, D string. And then what you do here, this is important, you go round in a circle. So you come around the end. The first one you touch there is the G, and then you come in B, and then finally the high E. So you go in a circle. That is unless you have a headstock where all 6 are in a row, then it would continue like that. You can also, of course, C, E going into here, A going into there if you need. To start with, that might be quite helpful to do as well. Okay, let's start. Start with the low E. You can see my tuner screen here. What it's going to do, it's going to come up with the letter that the string is currently closest to. It's not going to come up with the one that you're aiming for. It's going to tell you what you are currently at. And it says D sharp. That symbol there is sharp. Now, without knowing the whole musical alphabet, I'm assuming that you know the actual alphabet. So D is underneath E. So we know that we need to tighten this string until this tells us that it's E. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to play the string. The string needs to be played ever so often just to keep the sound flowing through into the tuner. I'm going to tighten it. Really small turns. It says, oh, it's E. It's E, but it's not quite in the middle. So you can see it floating around here. It says E now, which is great, but we have one extra step, and that's to get it right in the middle and to stop making any movement. So I'm going to keep going, very small turns, you can see. Very small turns. Still going, don't get frustrated, just keep going. Oh, almost there. Gone a bit far, so I'm going to go back, and there we go. It's quite common to have it right in the middle, blue, and then maybe one red either side. That's because these tuners are incredibly accurate. Okay, I'm done with that string, so I'm going to go down to the next one, which is the A string. Oh, it says A sharp. So sharp is when you are higher than the note. So I need to loosen that one. Here we go. So we've done E. To the next one, I need to loosen that one. Sometimes I find it's a little bit of trial and error as to which way is tightening and which way is loosening. If you do it and you see that it's going further out of tune, then of course you know to go the other way. Just do really small turns. Just accept that to start with it might take a while. I'll loosen that. Still going. Now it says A, but it's still wavy. Short, small turns. Oh, it's slowing down. And there we go. A is done. What do we have next? Ate Dynamite, D. It's a C sharp, so that is lower than D. So I'm going to tighten the tuning peg or key. As you can see, short turns. It says D, but it's quite wavy. I'm going to keep going. This one's taking a while. And there we go. All right. Next one, G. So I've gone round in a circle. Around here, and it's the first one that I touch underneath. Sharp. Okay, too high, so we need to loosen that one. This might be, again, a little bit of trial and error as to which way you do it. I seem to be going the right way because it's slowing down ever so slightly. There we go. It's G because the sharp sign has disappeared. This is taking a while, as I say. And there we go. Next one. So I've come in now because it's in that circle. Is B. Okay, it actually says B already, which is great. And I'm tightening it because this is underneath it still, where it's wavy down here. Let's bring it. Tighten, very small turns. Too far, there we go. And then finally, we had the low E. And now we have the high E. It already says E, great. Let's tighten. There we go. Very tiny adjustments. Once you're in tune, this is quite hard to do at the moment without knowing any chords, but you'd strum a chord that has all 6 strings included in it, and you'll be able to hear whether you are in tune. For now, as we haven't learned chords yet, you just have to trust that you've tuned correctly. But as I say, once you get through into chords, strum a chord just to make sure that you are all in tune. The next way I'm going to show you how to tune your guitar is by using an app. Now, this app that I am using is the Boss Tuner. Boss are a guitar effects and amps brand. I believe that they are owned by Roland, and this app emulates the exact look of a pedal that they sell. There are plenty more tuners out there, but this is the one that I find quite useful because it's very simple to use. So as you can see, you open it up, it's already picking up me talking, the notes in my voice as I speak to you. So here is part of the slight issue with these, that they pick up ambient noise as well. Let's get stuck in and have a look at how this works, as obviously this is the free version. So I'm going to start again with the low E. Now it's a little bit low. I have to stop it because as I talk, it's picking up my voice as well. So I can't talk at the same time when I tune. I could do that with the clip-on tuner because it only took the vibrations through the guitar neck and into the headstock and into the tuner. So I could talk at the same time and it wouldn't affect my tuning at all. Now, this is going to be a silent tune, so you can't have anyone else around you when you're using this. As you can see, once you start tuning, it's actually okay. It sort of zones into the actual note. And in terms of the tuner face, it is identical to the clip-on tuner. All of the tuners out there will work in the same fashion. They will just look ever so slightly different. I'm going to keep going. The next one is, of course, A. There we go. Now, the sharp sign in the app version, it has a dot next to the sharp symbol. That's how you know that it's sharp. It's quite easy to overlook that. It's quite easy to accidentally be tuning to a sharpened note. Next one, D. You see that said D sharp because I had the dot there. So I'm going to loosen that note, that string, until it disappears and it just says D only. I think this is a little harder to get right in the middle because of the ambient noise. There we go. And then B. You'll find with these tuners, you have to play the string more often to continue to get the juice into the phone, into the microphone and into the phone. There we go. And again, just strum a chord at the end to make sure. There we have it. I think that the hardest thing is actually remembering the string note name. So as I said earlier in the introduction of this video, just learn that that is a low E, that is a high E, and have Ate Dynamite Goodbye Eddie written down somewhere for when you are tuning. Now, the common mistake when tuning your guitar as a beginner is tuning the wrong peg to the one that you are playing. I've seen people do this before, and they've snapped a string because they have accidentally been playing playing E, but tuning A, and nothing's happening. So they keep going, nothing's happening, but something is happening. It's just in the background. And then eventually the one that they are tuning gets so tight that it snaps. And that's a really common beginner mistake that I wanted to highlight for you. Okay, so your tasks are to get a tuner, even if you get the free one to begin with, whilst you order a physical clip-on tuner. I'd like you to write down the string note names and remember that you have two E's, a low E and a high E. And I would of course like you to practice tuning up your guitar. I hope that was helpful, and I look forward to getting stuck in with your playing in your next lesson.